Before we get started, gotta give a few shoutouts. Alan Strupe, Brad Shaw, and James Bro. Here is a huge thumbs up that goes out to you. Thank you guys so much for watching Toy Gander. So a little bit different, I got contacted via email by a customizer who makes custom LEGO minifigures for several companies that are out there. In fact, I was doing a video and he said, hey, those are my designs on there. We got to talking and he actually sent me a package. I think this brand company is Avo Minifigures. I could be pronouncing that wrong, probably am, but essentially, he makes a lot of figures and a lot of designs, and he sent me this package, so it's kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with minifigure number 1 right here. Wow, this is a really cool design. In fact, so in Avengers Endgame, if you haven't seen it right yet, I'll tell you what, you're a little bit behind the 8 ball, but I'm going to spoil it for you. So Thor in the movie becomes fat, he becomes Fat Thor, and he's got big long hair, but big beard, and just kind of lets himself go, and then he comes back. And the cool part is, like, they didn't like use super magic and make him super skinny again. No, they just kind of kept rolling with the punches, and he was like Beardo Thor. And this was a character that was actually done very well, and this is done very well in LEGO form. I love this because you don't see LEGO actually making this design. This is all custom. You can see, I think this Stormbreaker, I think is what this is called, and that's where Groot, he basically sacrificed his arm, used it on that custom axe handle thing, and that was, I think, when his hammer was destroyed or something to that effect. I can't remember all the details. You guys go ahead and roast me in the comments below on it, but this is really great. I really do like this design. I like the custom goatee that he has right here, or the custom beard that's a separate piece that goes underneath the head. I like the overall piece that they have on top here for the hair. That's a great overall design, and just the design and all the different detail within the character on the torso is done very well. Very vibrant. It looks very close and reminiscent to the actual movie, and it's 360 degrees, which you don't typically see, especially for a cape figure. LEGO usually cops out on that, so it's always nice to see the 360 degree design even with the cape, or especially with the cape. The other thing I really like, this is a better cape than what LEGO produces. LEGO has gotten really cheap over the years on the capes. This is like a double print or double felt cape. It's almost got a velvet on this side and a felt on the bottom, and it feels really nice, very thick. The only downside is if you do get a crease into it, I would imagine it's not coming out, but that's no different than LEGO. In fact, you could just look at it wrong and it'll get a bad crease in it. This one has some I don't know, just feels heftier than the traditional LEGO one. And then the actual printing on this, or the paint that's on it, is done very thick and doesn't seem like it's chipping off. There's no like missing pieces to it or anything like that. There's no overspray. Only one face print, but it actually fits on there. He's got the angry electric eyes. The only other thing I could say, just as a side note, is you have to like perfectly have his eyes and face on there, because there's a very small ratio where his face prints just based on the hair. It kind of covers over the head, so even if his eyes are just slightly to the left or the right, he's going to look a little bit wonky, so you have to make sure those are positioned exactly in the right place. But overall, this is a really great design. 2 thumbs up for this. Minifigure number 2. Alright, next up is War Machine or Iron Patriot. I can't remember which one's which, but this is such a great, unique thing that LEGO would never actually do. And first off, when I first took this thing out of the package, which I will mention, I like the fact that these are done in like their own custom little packages, not like those cheap AliExpress knockoff things. This is actually done with a lot of care and is packaged very nicely. And it comes with this is like a reusable, I guess, compromised poly bag. It basically just kind of covers the whole character, so that's nice to see. But this is something, again, you will never see LEGO do, and when I first took this out of the package, this part right here looked like it was a little bit damaged, but no, that's actually a custom paint, which is lighter paint than the rest of this actual minigun on here, and it looks really nice, and it just kind of stands out. It's just that little extra touch that you don't typically see from any of these figures that are customized. The other thing is, it's kind of hard to tear down the character without really compromising the overall integrity, but looking at the face, it's done very well. I love the overall design on the helmet. You have so much going on here as far as all the different intricate details within this custom mold. And they even take that paint all the way into the back, which you see little bits and hints of it all throughout the character. Really, really, really nice to see. And little speckles of it, I think, in the wrist as well. But this is a mold that you won't see because it's too complicated, I think, for LEGO to do, specifically for the wrist gauntlets that are attached right here with the weaponry on the sides. That's just something LEGO is not going to do, or at least won't do in the near future. And I love the boot print, and the 360 degree design is just fantastic. I will tear them down just for the sake of it, but this is also, there's a little bit of points of articulation for this, I don't know, Gatling gun, I think. I don't know what it actually is, but it can articulate back and forth, which is really great. I'll take his head off, take his arms off. I wanted you to see and appreciate this whole character. Now, there is no printing within the front, but that makes sense because the armor actually covers that, but they do take that printing on the back up a little bit, so you can't notice any flaws within it. And then I really like the boot print. I don't know, something about this boot design looks really, really good to me. It almost looks like, I don't know, sneakers on them without looking ridiculous. It just ties in with a very mechanical look. And then you can see this whole separate piece, which is something that LEGO does not do on this type of detail. Really great to see right here. But I definitely give this one a couple thumbs up. And I'm glad to see this type of creativity put into this custom. Next minifigure. This is a character that's actually really hard to showcase within video format, specifically because he's so chromy. And of course I'm talking about Silver Surfer, if the surfboard didn't give it away. Now this is a relatively simple design, but it's something that we really want LEGO to produce, and hopefully now that Disney owns the whole Fox Studios and those are all merged now together, we'll see some form of Silver Surfer come into the new Avengers scene or Avengers series or Marvel series cinematic universe in some aspect, I hope, because they definitely didn't do him justice in the original Fantastic Four movies. And this is just it's a very simple design, but it's such a simple character actually on the screen. And he's really cool. He obviously is very powerful. He's tied in with Galactus, and I think that hopefully we'll see that introduced, but I just don't know. I do wish that the eye placement was probably a little bit lower and maybe not so angled. That's the only complaint I probably have on this. And then also on the bottom, there is no chrome on the bottom. So not that it's a big deal, but because you go like this, but it'd be nice to have the whole thing chromed out. And it probably makes sense because you're going to connect this to a couple different pieces, and it probably wouldn't work out. But overall, this is a pretty good design. I'd probably give it 1.5 thumbs up. Next minifigure. Now this figure is actually one that I did before. This is Miles Morales. He's a part of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the whole multiverse Spider-Man version, and this is a really great design. The thing that I like about this is the actual official, or the official custom, if that makes sense, because it is an official overall design. It just looks like it has more oomph to it than the stuff that just comes in these regular poly bags. I really do like this. I think it's a great overall look. I love the custom graphics on the side right here. It's a great design right there. And there's a whole little thing that really kind of explains his backstory, and you can kind of read all that. I won't do it right now, but it's really cool to see that they took the extra care in actually making the packaging for this character. And I do like this custom form that goes in here. Typically when I get these custom Lego figures, it just comes like this or in a slightly smaller clamshell. This one actually has a custom form mold which keeps the character in case and keeps them next to there. One of my favorite custom Spider-Man Lego minifigures. I really like this design, and I think it's probably just the character, but it's done with such care and such great integrity to the actual look of the original character. I love the hoodie that's on there. I love the contrast. I love the fact that the reds don't show up really dark, and the 360-degree sneakers. I don't know how they get away with this right here with the Nike symbol on his feet, but hey, I'm all for it. I think it's done really, really well. You can kind of see the custom head print right here. It's a little bit bigger eyes, which I think lends itself very well to the character because that's how the character is. He has more of a anime feel to him than some of the other Spider-Men just within the comics or the Spider-Verse. And then also you can see that great emblem right on the front there, done very vibrantly and very contrasty. I really like that. And the grays against the blacks and the reds just show up very, very nice. Whites are printed very vibrant, specifically on the feet. Really good to see, and just a really great character. 2 thumbs up for this one. And we have this bonus package, which I have no idea what's in here. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we got. Ho ho! Dr. Strange, the master of mysterious, and I will say that this is done very well. What a great design on here. This is one that I always felt like Lego just kind of lacked on. I got the one Dr. Strange series set, and I really like it. It has like this Cthulhu type of monster within the background, but I just felt like the overall character was lacking, and they didn't quite do him justice what they should. And he shows up really well in here. Actually, looking at this overall figure, it's done with a lot of care. I really do like this overall design on him. It has more little small, I don't know, just detail custom parts on there that you don't typically see. The other part that obviously sticks out is that his cape is plastic formed, which Lego doesn't do, and I don't think you'll ever see them do that. I don't know if I can take this cape apart. I'm going to see if I can. First I would have to get rid of his head. It's really stuck on there. Alright, well, I'm not going to take it off just because I don't want to necessarily ruin it. Maybe I'll try and take it off later, but you can see the design over on here a little bit better. Let me put his hair back on. I don't know if this hair mold looks a little bit different. Maybe it's slightly painted different. It just looks different from any of the other hair molds that I recognize. I don't know if it's the paint that's throwing it all off for me. But yeah, you could see a lot more stuff happening on there. The time stone that's within the chest here on that artifact, it actually is done with a gold paint around it, and that gold paint is also tied into the cape right here. There's small ridges right on the side here. I would have liked to seen that done with a slightly different color paint, but again, I'm a picky man, so that is me being picky. And you can see there's custom creases within there, makes it look like it just gives it more depth and more 3D effect. And great printing on the legs too, 360-degree printed, which you don't typically see, especially again for characters with capes. This is something unique. He does have that nice belt on there, which is done in brown, and that's tied very closely in with his bottom of his torso. And you can see, like, you could hardly see where the seam is on that, so it's done very, very well. He does come with these power blasts that are attached to his hands. This one fell out of this hand. Let me put that back on. So you can see there's 2 on there, and this is very similar to the one that actually Lego makes. There's no surprise right there, but it does have like these custom gold prints on them. I think the only difference is I think the official Lego ones are done in clear, with the gold print. This one is a yellow with the gold print, which I actually think probably ties closer to the original movie, or at least the newer movies. So this one I'll definitely give 2 thumbs up. Great job. Alright guys, it's that time of the video. There's one figure somewhere on the screen that is just not quite right, or something is missing. Let me know in the comments below on what is wrong, and I will pick the top 3 subscribers and give you guys shout outs in the next video I do. Guys, I want to thank you so much. Make sure you share this video, like the video, and subscribe, and until next time, you could help us take a gander.